felt a little weird. No video this morning, not really anything to talk about. Well, except the Blue Jays game. Fantastic game last night. I'm sure there's everybody that does not love baseball is just out there saying, can you just shut up about the Blue Jays? You know, I'm not an uber sports fan. I watch football on TV. I've been to a couple of games. You know, I went to that college game last week. I don't know if I've ever sat down and tuned in to watch a full college football game and watched it. I don't think so. Not a big, huge hockey guy. My brothers are, but I'm not. Baseball, I think it's something that both Amy and I love to watch. Not to mention that Oliver plays it. And maybe that's why. Now, I remember when I was a kid, my dad would turn on the Expos game. Love the Expos, love the Cubs. And I hated watching it. It's just to sit there and watch it on TV without some sort of investment in the game. I don't mean financial. I just mean, you know, you're cheering for somebody, a team or something. It just seemed boring to me. Maybe that is to a lot of people. I know a lot of people that don't like watching baseball. They find it boring. But anyway, I love watching baseball, and this year's team with the Blue Jays is a special kind of team. It's just different. It's a team that looks like it's poised to win the World Series. May not happen with their ace pitching in Game 6. You know, the winners of the series will be the fans for getting to likely watch 6 or 7 games. Well, 7 games for sure, 6. And of course, Major League Baseball. The Blue Jays, I looked at tickets. And I wasn't planning on going anyway, but I looked at the price of tickets around the area that we had gone to the game this summer. I don't even know how somebody could afford to go to that baseball game. Truthfully, I don't understand it. I have no idea how much they're going to make at the Rogers Center in Game 6 and 7, but it would be an ungodly amount of money. Anyway, good luck to the Jays. I love watching them because you know what they're made up of. You have their star players, and then you have these misfits that have really glued the team together. You know, you hear me talk about Ernie Clement, how impressive I think he is as an athlete. Now, this is a guy that was thrown away from 2 teams. The Cleveland Guardians, I'm sorry, it's true. Cleveland Guardians and the Oakland A's both DFA'd him. Pitched him. We actually had 3 of our better players in the postseason we've got from the Cleveland Guardians. Jimenez, who's, you know, Gold Glover and has hit 2 home runs in the World Series, I think. Shane Bieber, who was an absolute ace 2 starts ago. And then obviously Ernie Clement. So it's the parallel lines between what goes on in baseball, and more particularly the storylines, as I like to say, surrounding the Blue Jays this year are very similar. It feels like a burn, right? Burn of our horses. A couple of horses that jump up out of nowhere and have really put things together. We always have 1 or 2 of them. The stars of the burn, when they're firing, everybody's happy in the stable, and when they're not, we're not. But just it's an impressive thing to watch. I feel anyway. So I can't wait. I was on the edge of my seat in game 5, and I can't wait for 6. And if there's a 7, I take a Game 6 World Series win. But if there's 7, then so be it. Pretty cool. It's different. I always watch the World Series, but this year it just feels different. Anyway, enough about that. We only had the 1 horse on the go table. It was pouring rain when I woke up. There was nothing to do. I went to the barn. I told everybody I wanted all the harness jog carts cleaned. I wanted all the shed rows cleaned up, all the garbage taken out. I want everything to look immaculate today. I want people to get in the hang of things where you don't come to the barn, water and feed, hay, and leave. Do the stalls and leave. You are there. You're responsible for your area, even most importantly and more particularly on a rain day. Sure, you can put your harnesses away and your brushes away and whatnot in a fairly professional manner on a normal day and get done at a decent time. But when it's rain day, I want people to get in the habit of coming to the barn and cleaning everything all the time. And not that they weren't anyway, but I just wanted to reinforce it. So this was the first true rain day for us where not a whole lot was moving. And I sent a note to everybody this morning early and said, everybody's to have everything clean. I am coming into the barn and I'm going to look at everything. And I didn't want it to sound like, oh, the principal's coming type thing. But I did want everybody to know what the expectations from me to them were today. And everybody met them very well. The horses look good. I didn't hear any coughing when I was there, which is very good. But I was just really, really pleased with the way the barn looked this morning. Went over to the meadows. I was not pleased with going to the meadows. It was supposed to pour all day long. Raging Hanover in the mud. The only thing I looked forward to in regards to the mud was the line didn't count. You make a break in the mud, it doesn't matter. So I could be a little more aggressive with him today than driving him on pins and needles. And I did. But most importantly, I was pleased with, you can feel it. I know you can't see it, and you have to take my word for it, but his confidence level just seems to be growing. I nursed him through the first turn, put him in gear after that, and down the backstretch, I stretched him out a bit. I didn't want to give him any reason to get out of gear in the last turn. None. If that meant he was a little tired going into it, it's fine with me. I just want him to be comfortable in every inch of that racetrack, in every inch of every racetrack we race him on. And today was a big deal. I didn't have to watch him. I'm happy to report that at no point in the mile did he feel like he'd even make a break. At no point in the mile did he put a step in on the goop. Not once. I'm sure he got beat. I'm 31 seconds in the mud, but that was a very taxing track, and I do have razor pads on him up front. You know, I'd said to Tim 2 weeks ago, I think the flip-flops, if we go to flip-flops, he's going to chew it himself behind even more. I wonder if we just went to a razor pad, would it help? One, with his feet, and two, a little bit, what I find anyway as a driver, that for the horses that they do interfere behind, which most trotters do, to one extent or another, especially when you're racing at B tracks, it just tends to, what I find is the flip-flops will draw them into their jacks, their hind chins a little more. I guess every horse is a little different. I just find that more times than not, if you have a horse that is interfering a bit, and you go to the flip-flops, unless their feet are really sore, the trade-off is lopsided. What I mean by that is their feet might be a little more comfortable, but they do interfere a little bit more. So we went to a razor pad, which is, how do I say it? It's a full shoe with a pad underneath, and the back of the pad, right where the frog is here, right where the foot is, the V in the foot, the frog, you have a black pad, just a little black pad. It's got ridges in it, and it's just a little bit of cushion in that area. And all I can say is, since we have him shod the way he is, since we have him hung up the way he is, today was the first time I sat behind him where I wasn't an easy boy, easy, and just try and nurse him the whole way. Today I was able to drive him, and it felt like I could drive him. Now, I won't be here next week, but I'd asked Aaron after. I said, hey, this horse next week, if you drive him, you end up driving him, don't cinch him up in the first turn. I said, I'll send you a reminder message before he races, but just nurse him off the car and let him continue to float forward. But when he gets a little shuffly in that first turn, don't double him up. Just let him do his work. That's where a little bit of weight comes in. Hobbles are not tight. They're all actually perfect, I think, than where they were today. But most importantly, we talked about, I gave you that speech the other day about the training wheels and about the horse. The training wheels are off, and now he's learning how to go forward. And that might sound stupid to you. You're like, well, Anthony, he won in 54 already. He won at the Meadowlands. And the day that he raced at the Poconos, I would suggest that Matt Kakali did an A++ job driving him. He was very rough in the turns, and the horse doesn't want to make a break. He's a nice horse. Megan was right about him. He is a nice horse. But I think for a horse that made a lot of breaks, you talk about that confidence. We talked about it. And it's hard, maybe it's hard to quantify what I'm talking about. The ability to go out there and put one foot in front of another and race without the fear of making a break, hitting yourself and causing a break, is the start of the path forward. And this horse here, he's not a killer, he's not a monster, but we are going to have fun with him. The horse that I just drove a few minutes ago, that guy's coming forward. He never felt rough at all to me, anywhere. So we'll see if we can keep that going for next week, whoever drives him, wherever he is, whatever he races in. Tim said he might be a little bit over the class now. But the fact that he got beat, if they happen to need a horse for that class, then go ahead and use him. And if we get to a point where he's very comfortable, well, just slide him back over to Northfield. He'll do very good in the non-winners of 4, non-winners of 7. That's what we bought him for, is to win those classes if we wanted him to. And further to that, if he is fast enough and runs out of classes at the Meadows, and speed is not a concern, well, he can just head north, go race in Ontario. So we're back to a position, I think, at least walking back into the position where Raging Hanover is now a horse I'm not worried about making breaks. He could still, I'm not going to drive him next week, but I was very, very happy with the way he raced today. And the way he'll need to race next week will not be foreign to him. It won't be foreign to the driver also. As I said to Aaron, and Aaron isn't, the reason he gets along with a lot of horses is he just lets them do their work, right? He lets them work. And I think he's ready to be let work. Just let him trot out in his own steam, just like I did. Let him settle in the first turn, move him to the front, and after that, he'll be fine. Now, keep in mind, he still has ear hood on, screen on his face, Murphy blind on the left. I think as we start taking the ear hood off and replacing it with earplugs, maybe taking that blind bridle and turn it into a hood with cups, you're going to see him start to come forward even more. But that's going to be in a much more aggressive manner, so you need to temper that, right? That has to be a true baby step type situation where, okay, he tried him 58 today. Let's not read too much into it. Let's see how he does next week at a fast track. The week after that, if he's trotting good again and looks good, okay, maybe we'll take the ear hood off and go to earplugs. If he's not too aggressive like that, maybe we'll take that screen off. I know he looks at stuff, but I think that all revolves around his confidence on the racetrack. And as that starts to grow, my belief is we're going to see the horse that we bought, the horse we wanted to buy, the horse we thought we'd get, we hoped we'd get, start to come forward. So that's a long 12 minutes to talk about one mediocre third place finish at the Meadows, but I wanted to give you my take on it because obviously, especially with the horse making the break in the qualifier the other day, and bringing these horses in that are kind of broken toys, so to speak, from time to time, it's important to let you understand what I see, what I look at, and how I want to see those horses come forward, and in what way we're trying to get them to come forward. And this horse, Raging Hanover, I think is coming forward in a much better way now. So that is it for today. Nothing tonight, no baseball tonight. They're back in Toronto tomorrow on Halloween. We get Harrisburg coming up. I told you big chunks of a couple of buckets were going to go missing. We still have a couple of more decent chunks. I haven't checked on the shares today. I saw one here, one there, one here, one there. I really appreciate it. It is very important, especially now at this time of year more than ever. I truly appreciate the partnership with all you guys and people understanding why it's important to fill those up. So again, and that's not a ploy to get anybody to do it. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, that's fine. But what I think you will find is that we get to Harrisburg again. For the most part, those buckets are going to be chewed up, and that's the way it has to be, especially for this sale. This will be the first year in quite a while that my stress level will be much lower. And that goes back, obviously, to John and Deshaun obviously playing a major role. So with that, I'm going to let you go. My next day, tomorrow, is a big day. We have like 5 horses in at the Meadows. So we have a big day of racing tomorrow at the Meadows right here. I believe we have some other horses. I don't know if we have anybody racing in other places tomorrow, actually, now that I think of it. It may only be. Oh, look at that. There it is there. It's not going to come up. My Wi-Fi's not on. Nevertheless, I know we have 5 at the Meadows tomorrow. We have horses racing all weekend into next week. I had somebody message me today, say, hey, what about Legal Scholar who made a break? How's he? He'll be fine. He'll be fine this week. He's actually a very good gaited horse. I tipped him over the other night. That was my fault. And then with the newest horse we haven't raced yet, I will tell you this. Tally the Tab, she's pretty fast filly. I like her a lot. and I think she'll race very, very well next week. I highly doubt, for those of you out there saying, well, that's great, I'll bet her. I highly doubt you'll get a decent number on Tally the 10 next week, just because she's coming out and racing in condition races and stake races, and she'll be dropping into the non-winners of 2 fillies and mares 3 or 2 and 4 or something. It'll be a good fit for her. Let's just put it that way. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I hope everybody's having a good day. I hope it's not raining, but it seems like it's raining everywhere on planet Earth today. Wherever you are, I hope it isn't raining, but it is raining quite a bit here. All done for the night. Talk to you tomorrow. We get some barn work to do in the morning. We get a lot of horses to race in the afternoon, and then Amy and I have to get ready to head to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania on Saturday afternoon. If you are attending, I'll say it again, if you're attending Harrisburg and you'd like to come out and have a meal with us, or you'd just like to follow along or look at some horses or bounce some ideas off us, I am never, ever too busy to talk to you or clients or prospective clients or former clients. I would be happy to. So please don't have it in your head that I'm too busy and you don't want to interrupt me. There's nothing I love more than hanging out with our clients. All right? Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday.